Part of the settlement of this class action lawsuit involved a payout of $70 million. That $70 million was taken by the attorney working on this case and put out to fund a study of what's going on exactly in this area. They had approximately 70,000 people in the Parkersburg area come and participate in having their blood taken to check the C8 levels in their systems, as long as doing a survey. Those results from this test are starting to come out. They're in a database right now, as I understand, at West Virginia University, going through comparison and correlations within the database. It's going to give us a pretty good idea of how greatly this area has been affected by C8. I moved away from the Parkersburg area about 15 years ago. I'm not sure exactly how long you've been gone from the area. But as you know, when you get a chance to get out and see the world and see different perspectives and not being stuck in the same small town, you start to notice things that seem suspicious or not quite right. This is one of the things behind me here, this bridge. This bridge goes over Blennerhassett Island, and this may mean something and it may not, but I just thought it was very strange that they would build, I don't know if it's the city or the state that's responsible or if DuPont's responsible, but to build a bridge over a historical island, it just absolutely made no sense to me. I was very confused by it. The other night I was talking to my dad about what was going on with C8 and telling him a little bit about what I wanted to do and trying to get some of this exposed. And he had a couple of interesting things to say to me. My dad worked for a company called Foxborough, and they sold instrumentation, and that was one of the things that my dad did, was traveled around and sold instrumentation to these chemical plants. DuPont, he sold instrumentation to for injection wells that run underneath the DuPont. Very, very deep wells, and what he sold them was instrumentation that reads very, very high pressures. And he said what DuPont did was they would take their waste and stick them in these injection wells and send them with very, very high pressure into the ground underneath DuPont. And we wonder why the wells in the surrounding area are contaminated with C8. Then I asked my dad, I said, Dad, what's going on with Blennerhassett Island? How did they manage to build a bridge over Blennerhassett Island? Who's responsible for that? And this is speculation, but Dad said, I think they own it. And I said, really? That's very interesting. And I said, well, why do you say that, Dad? And he said, well, most of the water that they use to run that plant comes from wells. It's drawn from wells on Blennerhassett Island. I don't know if it means anything, but it just seems that here we've got DuPont Road, all freeways into DuPont, and now there's a bridge here crossing the Ohio River, seems to me, so DuPont can get their trucks on the road faster. Just something else I wanted to point out. Just wanted to give you a different perspective of the bridge. You can see it up. You can see it running over Blennerhassett Island. And of course, if you look down in the distance there, you can see DuPont. And you can see, of course, things being put into the air down there. Something's going on in this area that's just not right. Right now I want to talk about some of the affected water districts involved in this class action lawsuit, being, of course, downriver from DuPont, Little Hocking, Ohio, Lubeck Public Service District in West Virginia, City of Belpre, Ohio, Tuppers Plains, Chester Water District, Ohio, Mason County Public Service District in West Virginia, and this also includes water provided by the Evans Public Service District because its water is provided by the Mason County Public Service District, and the Village of Pomeroy. Part of the agreement of this class action lawsuit was that DuPont paid out some money to install some filtration devices. I don't know where they're installed. I don't know if they're the water facilities or if they're the plants. But carbon filtering to get the C8 out of the water. There are 2 districts that still have not had the filtering put in, and that is Little Hocking Water District, I know for sure, and I believe the other one is the Tuppers Plains Chester Water District in Ohio. Even though these filtration systems have gone in, the C8 levels in this area are still continuing to rise. And that's a lovely shot of DuPont here behind me. I cannot see what the signs say, but over across the water in DuPont, there are 2 orange signs, one here, one just a little bit downriver. Orange signs with black writing mean hazardous to me. I don't know what they say. We can't zoom in tight enough on them, but another thing that just doesn't look like it should be. I was also visiting with one of my girlfriends while I was in town on a visit, and I was telling her what was going on with the C8 in the area. She did tell me that her brother had been down the river from the Marietta area about a month before this, and had been down here in front of the plant, and there was nothing, he said, but a bunch of dead fish floating in the water. So another thing that I want to bring up in regards to DuPont, and that is, I was told, I haven't checked my facts on this yet, but I was told that there was another plant in Louisiana run by DuPont that was also causing a lot of serious C8 contamination. And it's my understanding that when Hurricane Katrina went through down there, that kind of dissolved DuPont's issue and problem, because all the C8 obviously was swept out with the hurricane. In closing, you've been out with us a little bit today. I'm not an investigative journalist, but some things just look fishy around here in the Parkersburg area. I've even talked to a pilot who says that when you fly into the area that you can see the pollution actually on the radar. We need to get some people into this area and help the people of this area, because they're not helping themselves. Don't know why there's not a whole lot of talk about C8 in this area, but one thing I can tell you is there are many, many, many health issues. I myself moved out of the area some years ago, but I have my MS diagnosis, something I deal with on a daily basis. I have a lot of pain in my back from muscle spasms, suffer from headaches and nausea. My sister also has MS and suffers with some things, but you know, we showed you Brock earlier, and what's going on with Brock doesn't just stop at the scars. This is something that he's going to have to deal with for the rest of his life. One of the issues for him currently is that he can't tell when he needs to go to the bathroom, and it's going to be a long journey for his parents, you know, some things that they have to deal with. This is a call to help. This is a call to action. We want you involved. We want the press involved. We want anybody involved. Some people to get down here and start crawling through what's going on down here and talking to some people. The last thing that I want to show you, I went to church on Sunday with my sister and her husband, and I opened up their church bulletin and took a look at the prayer list, and what I saw made tears come to my eyes, and I was very shocked. And I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if you can get a close shot of what I have in my hand here, but after it gets zoomed in on, I'm going to read it. Okay. I'll tell you what this says here. This is a prayer list. And I'm going to read down the list of what the health problems are. And when I was sitting in the congregation, there was about 40 people in the congregation. So keep in mind, this is prayer requests coming from a small congregation of people involving their friends and family. Infant health. Health problems, recuperating from heart problems, cancer, biopsy on tumors, health problems and further tests, health problems, continuing battle with cancer, leukemia, brain tumor, reoccurrence of cancer, and cancer. Just on this one list, 23 incidences of health-related and cancer-related issues. And I just wonder if I don't go to other churches in this area and look at their prayer lists if I don't see the same thing. Somebody, please come help Parkersburg.